Good morning, everyone. Scott Maybor here with your Medicare Missive from the pond for Monday, August 4th. I hope you were all had a wonderful weekend and should be a nice day, although it's a little, I guess, wildfire smoke is making it look a bit hazy out here today. So last week, end of the month, as I've said in the past, always busy. Doesn't matter what time of year. August 1st start date, so Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday were pretty busy days. A lot of questions with drugs, and I can't emphasize enough that when you're checking your drugs, if you're doing this yourself, be very, very specific. I had one woman who just said she takes albuterol. There's about 30 different types of albuterol. Some of them are powders, some of them go in nebulizers, some of them are in tablet form. And when I asked her what type of albuterol, she said just albuterol. It's hard to pick the right one. The other problem, it's hard to pick the right one if you don't know specifically what it is, and frequently the packaging doesn't actually tell you, especially if you've thrown away the box. The other one that came up twice with both her and another woman was I think it's called the Spiriva HandiHaler. Some of the carriers cover it, some do not. So if you're on that particular medication, the formulary for your particular drug carrier may cover it, or they may not. There is an alternative to it, and in one case, the company she wanted to use covers the alternative. In the other case, they don't cover the alternative; they cover the brand name. So you have to be very careful, very specific. There was another gentleman that I spoke to, and we were looking at drug plans for him. The drug plan for him, off the top of my head, I think it was $105 a month. So it was a fairly expensive drug plan. And his net out-of-pocket cost on that drug plan, and I'm kind of pulling numbers out of the air, but it was about $1,200 a year plus the premium. The next drug plan on the list is $143 a month, so about $40 more a month, and his net out of pocket without premium was $2,000. So just because you're paying more for a drug plan doesn't mean it covers more things. The reason it was higher is because one of the drugs wasn't covered and one of the drugs was a higher tier on the more expensive drug plan. So the 105 drug plan was actually cheaper, both in terms of premium and copays, than the 143 drug plan. So if I can help, let me know. But drug plans are complicated. They're confusing. The formularies are very specific. I've had a lot of people say they take a capsule when they in fact take a tablet, and Medicare doesn't cover most capsules, but they do cover the tablet version. So for most people, they're interchangeable. It doesn't matter. For Medicare and how much you're going to pay at the pharmacy, it does matter. One last point: if you do have, it may, as we get further into the year, it may or may not make sense to pay more for a drug plan that does not have a deductible. The deductibles will reset in January. They are annual deductibles. The most it can be is $590 on a drug plan. But if you're spreading it out now over September to the end of the year, that $590, if it applies to any of your drugs, is going to be split over the 4-month period as opposed to a 12-month period. So that may be reason to pay more for a drug plan that doesn't have a deductible and then reconsider in January. And one final point: open enrollment will start in October, so it's a couple months away. But if you are on Medicare, you have to check your drug plan. The formularies change every year, and don't be caught unawares in January when your plan goes into effect and you've discovered that you should have changed drug plans, but you didn't, and a lot of people don't. I spoke to somebody the other day who said her parents probably haven't changed drug plans since they went on Medicare 20 years ago. I'm sure they're not, well, my assumption would be they are not on the most efficient drug plan, so they're simply overpaying. They haven't had any problems, which is great, but they may be overpaying. I also know that they're on Plan Fs, which I would also recommend against. Fantastic plan, just too expensive. If you can get similar coverage for significantly less money, why not do that? Let me know if I can help. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy and be well. Stay safe.